Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I was gonna record video footage today and I wasn't up to it, and by the time I recorded the video footage it would probably take longer to do the commentary. I already have stuff recorded, but I want to record new stuff because the stuff I already have recorded, it's been so long since I recorded it. Like, those are probably better for just talking about life kind of videos because I don't really remember how I felt that clearly when I played them. So yeah, so basically what I'm going to do today, sorry, again, this is what happens when you don't film videos for a while. You kind of get spacey, and plus I'm just anxious in general. But anyway, I had an idea. Like, I did the PlayStation 4, I did the Switch collection. I figured I'd do the Xbox One collection. I actually have an Xbox One X. If you want a PlayStation 4 alternative, like, the PlayStation 4 Pro is my favorite console of this generation, but if you want better third-party ports for the most part, and you really like Microsoft's Xbox exclusives, and there's a lot of cool backwards compatibility, I mean, you can't go wrong with the X. I would not recommend getting an S though. It's probably, you're better off spending the extra money because the Xbox One, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, like, I don't really have actual experience beside playing it at a demo kiosk when it first came out. Like, based on Digital Foundry videos and whatnot, which, again, I hate, like, giving you advice based on something I haven't really personally tried, but based on what I've seen, it's severely underpowered even compared to, like, the base PlayStation 4, because a lot of what they put into that system was reliant on using the Kinect, and I think it was even underpowered before that. But yeah, I would definitely recommend the Xbox One X. And what actually sold me on this is next gen. They released pre-orders. Today's the 24th. Everything's been kind of a blur the past 2 days. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. I'm thinking it was yesterday where pre-orders went up, since I wasn't really invested in pre-orders. I didn't really care. I didn't keep up with it. I only kept up with the PlayStation 5 because, beside the Bethesda acquisition, which I'm kind of holding out on to see how that's handled, like, there's not really a whole lot of games on the Xbox Series X that, like, I'm interested in. Although I will say they have a decent survival horror lineup, like The Medium. That game looks awesome. And there's, like, another game, I think I talked about in the last video. It's like something to do with the death of Martha, and it takes place during World War II, and it's another first-person horror game, and it's supposed to be photorealistic. Originally it was, like, announced for the PlayStation 5, but they had a trailer for it and it only said Xbox One and PC. I don't know if that's just because they were advertising it'll eventually come on PlayStation 5. I don't know. Microsoft does multi-platform games like Minecraft. That's obviously on the PlayStation 4, and they're still supporting it because they just announced the PlayStation VR version, so we'll see. I really would hate to miss out on Doom or further Fallout, The Evil Within, and if they ever come out with any more of the, can't think of, Dishonored games, like, even Prey was really cool. But I'm sure you're tired of looking at a wooden floor, so I'm going to share my collection. This is Crackdown. It took forever for this game to come out. I got it pretty much around the time that it came out used, because I guess people were expecting, like, all these destructible environments in the cloud, well, that ran off of the cloud and everything. And basically, if you like the first Crackdown, you'll love this. I'm kind of in between, in the middle, indifferent. It's a fun arcade game. It's more of the same of, like, the first Crackdown, except bigger. The HDR and the neon are awesome. I don't know if you can see the back. I won't show you the back of everything, because sometimes when I bought used games, because I'm not like super obsessed with the packaging as long as the disc is in good shape. But yeah, I don't know how well you can see it. I'm looking at the viewfinder. So that game is good. It's a must-have if you like the first Crackdown. If you have any interest in Need for Speed or racing games in general, Forza Horizon 3 is my favorite Forza Horizon game that I've played. I have 2 digital, but I'm only showing my physical collection. I also have a bunch of Xbox 360 and a handful of Xbox One games that are backwards compatible, but we're just focusing on physical Xbox One collection. But this takes place in Australia and it's open world, and I like it a lot. And if you like arcade racing games with a little bit more sim than say like something like Ridge Racer, I would recommend it. Yeah, Forza Horizon 4. Again, like Target, I don't know why I said again because I didn't get to the other game that was on sale, but I don't know what it is. Like Target really discounts, seems like mostly racing games, but this was new when I got it, and I don't know why. They already made it $20 cheaper, and it wasn't like it wasn't selling well. Maybe it was because it was close to the holidays, I don't know. But I like this one a lot, especially when you drive in fall weather, which is my favorite season with all the colorful leaves and stuff like this. This one you drive around the UK. I like it a lot. I don't think it's not as scenic as Australia, but with the different seasons and like the lakes frozen over, creating alternate paths and stuff like that. That's really cool. I don't really buy into the DLC and stuff like that, so I probably haven't experienced either one of these games to the fullest. We have Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which is basically, I had to make a haphazard case because it came with Rare Replay as well, and they didn't use the original case. I don't know how it originally came. I feel like it would have come in the case, but that's the disc, just in case you think I'm shitting you. But it's basically like a nicer version of, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's in 4K. I beat the first Gears of War. It's a nicer looking version. It has the missing level from the PC version. I don't play online, so I don't know. But yeah, I got it. I plan on probably playing it at some point. But since I beat that one, I feel like I need to beat... I'm at the end of Gears of War 2 and then 3, and then I guess I'll go back to Judgment. I have the 360 versions of those and they're backwards compatible. So Gears of War 4, this also comes with that Xbox One X enhanced mode. Beautiful looking game. The characters are kind of immature versus the dude bro like characters that you played as in the first 4 games. I mean, it's bloody and controversial, I guess, in that aspect. It's obviously rated mature, but I got it used at the time. The GameStop was pretty cool, and they're like, hey, you want a steel case even though it's used? And I was like, sure. Usually it just has like multiplayer shit in it, but this is what the steel case looks like if you're curious. And you play as... I still keep my receipts like a dork. It still has Marcus Phoenix, and you play as his son. I believe that's the son's name. But I only play it for the campaigns. But the characters almost seem like Disney versions of Gears of War characters. But with Gears of War 5, they seem a lot more mature. I haven't played a huge chunk of this game because I know apparently the female character, who seems really cool, she's voiced by, I believe, Laura Bailey, who does an awesome job. She's like, beside Tara Strong, she's like the Troy Baker and Nolan North of video game voices. I feel like I was playing something recently with her doing the voice. Oh, she was Black Widow in the Avengers game. But I'm still playing as the dude that was in Gears of War 4. I can't think of Marcus Phoenix's son's name offhand, but in my opinion, the Xbox One X enhanced version of this game is the best looking game on the Xbox One X in my opinion, which is awesome because it runs on Unreal Engine 4. But here's the back of it. Did I show the back of 4, by the way? You can pause it. I don't even know how clear this will be. I'll render it in 1080p, but you know, YouTube standards. But usually with still images, it usually gives a clear picture. But so far, I like Gears of War 5 a lot. It actually feels like an actual sequel instead of more of the same. There's different mechanics and stuff. Like there's like areas where you're like trapped and you have to set up like little blockades and stuff, almost like a real-time strategy game. I saw in the trailer there's like little open world sections. You have like this little robot that follows you around and you can give it commands to do things. So they switched up the formula a lot. I like it. Even though this is controversial, but I played it after the whole game was fixed. This is probably my favorite game on the Xbox One X, the Master Chief Collection. Unfortunately, I bought it when they weren't giving the free version of Halo, was it ODST? But I have the Xbox 360 version, and I believe you can download a remastered version of Reach. But Halo 1 and Halo 4 are my favorite Halo games. Haven't finished 5 yet. And then Reach, but like I said, I have it's not going to look as good as the Master Chief Collection, but I just love having all these games. Like Halo was the first person shooter on console that I felt as good as like what I was playing on PC. It really felt like it was made for the console. So to have 4 Halo games, 1 and 2 are like remastered, and then the other ones just run at a higher resolution and run at 60 frames per second. I don't play multiplayer. I heard there was a lot of issues with that. I heard they fixed it. I don't know. I'm one of the few people that still play first-person shooters for the campaign. So if you like the Halo campaigns, I would definitely pick this up. This is Halo 5. I haven't finished it. If you like Halo 4, you probably like this. It controls like more like Call of Duty. Like this is the first Halo game, I'm pretty sure, based on memory, that you actually can aim down the sights. Like before, it would just like zoom in, and you would just have like a little I don't even know if you could shoot. I'm pretty sure you could, because I remember when me and my friend would play split screen multiplayer in the first Halo, and we'd have that overpowered pistol that was almost as powerful as a sniper rifle. Like you'd have like, you'd zoom in and it'll show crosshairs, but this one you can aim down the sights like Call of Duty. Like the controls are closer to Call of Duty. The graphics are amazing on this game in my opinion. Obviously you can see the pre-owned thing, so I got it used. A lot of the Xbox games I got used. I should have stated, like, just if you're curious, the ones that I got new were Forza 4, Gears 5, and Halo Master Chief Collection. And going forward, I'll let you know which ones are new. I don't know why that's relevant, but just in case you're curious. But if you like the other Halo games, I would definitely give this a chance. Although it controls more like Call of Duty, but it's cool. And I would definitely play 4 first if you're interested in the storyline, though, because it's definitely a continuation of that. This is Jurassic World Evolution. Excuse me. I have reflux. I drank coffee before, and now I'm choking from it. So don't have to worry about me. Not yet, anyway. So this is Jurassic Park Evolution. There's a game on the PlayStation 2, and I don't know if it was on the GameCube, but I'm pretty sure it was on the PC, and I know it was on the original Xbox. It was called Jurassic Park. I believe it's like Project Genesis or whatever. It's expensive, but essentially this is the same game. It's like a sim theme park type game, except you're building a dinosaur park. And I like the fact that like when the dinosaurs go out of control, also it's hilarious when they start attacking people and stuff like that. I bought this game new like the day it came out. I think I was having like a bad day, and nothing is worse than like if you're a collector and you're having a bad day and you drive by a store that sells like things that pertain to whatever you're into. And I was happened to have a bad day, and I drove by a Best Buy on the day this came out. I was like, oh, I'll just look at the case. Yeah, right, I picked it up. But yeah, it's like sim theme park with dinosaurs. I feel like the options and stuff are a little bit limited about how much space you can get and what you can do, but with the dinosaurs escaping and then you having to like tranquilize them and stuff like that, and then you have to like send people to different areas to like collect DNA so you can create new dinosaurs. It like adds variety to the game. But like with these kind of games, like the sim theme park games, that I do miss is being able to make roller coasters and rides and stuff. But that's not like a Jurassic Park game. They're supposed to come out with some type of theme park game. Keep on wanting to say like Roller Coaster Tycoon or something like that. I can't think of what the name of the game was, but it was supposed to come out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now it looks like it's coming. It's Planet Coaster is what I was trying to think of. But I have a feeling it's gonna have a ton of microtransactions, because on the PC, that's the deal. They have like all these different themes, but I really love the concept of building your own theme park. I wish you could build like more intricate things, but it's pretty bare bones. It more focuses on containing the dinosaurs and stuff like that. A pretty fun game. I don't know if I would necessarily spend $60 on it like I did when I originally purchased it, but it's whatever. Killer Instinct, this was used on Definitive Edition, and then after this they still release more characters, kind of like Mortal Kombat with the season pass, and then they released Afterlife for $40, even though it has like 3 characters and extra story. I think right now it's on sale for like $23, which it should be $19.99 if you were to ask me, but whatever. Killer Instinct, I feel like, is in between as far as the complexity goes. It's in between Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I don't have a huge love for these characters. I know this was a huge game, and I like fighting games, but it just didn't do it for me when I played it. But I don't hate it, but it's a decent fighting game. And it's fun to pick up and play every once in a while, but honestly, when I'm in the mood for a fighting game, I'm gonna either play Street Fighter, Dead or Alive, Mortal Kombat, or Injustice. I would recommend those. Every game except Street Fighter 5 is available on the Xbox One. I just have it on PlayStation 4, but you know, if you liked Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo or in the arcade, which I really didn't get into, you'll probably like that. I just didn't really grow up with Killer Instinct. I got a Super Nintendo really late in its life cycle, and I was more into platformers and RPGs at that point. So this is the other racing game. Target again put this on sale when it was fairly new. I didn't know that it was like on sale. I didn't know if it was on sale anywhere else. They were sold out of the PlayStation 4 version, which kind of sucks because I kind of like the online components of Need for Speed. Just curious to see like what my friends and stuff were doing, but not that I'm like a huge online person. Like I wouldn't like competitively race because everybody's better than me, but it's cool. It's like more of the same of Need for Speed. It has like a Miami aesthetic, which is really nice. If you like Need for Speed games, I can't see why you wouldn't like this. I don't think it has microtransactions. I think that was an issue with the one that came out before that. That was in Las Vegas, which, again, I didn't have an issue with it, but I didn't really have an issue with Star Wars Battlefront 2, so it's whatever. like you could still earn everything in game. Everything wasn't restricted. You just have to grind a lot more. This is Quantum Break. I heard it runs not that great on the regular Xbox, and it can't even run native 4K on the Xbox One X, but it runs better on the Xbox One X. It has cool destructible environments. You can reverse time and have stuff build up. It's made by Remedy, who made the first two Max Paynes, Alan Wake, and then Control, which is the last game they came out with, which I really love. I need to finish it. I need to play more of Quantum Break. I would like to finish Control first because I got farther into that game. But this is a really cool game, and there's actually like a live action TV show that you download that like corresponds with the game. It's optional, and it takes like way longer to install the game. I can't remember if you had to download the TV show from the server or not, but if you like Remedy games, I would definitely check this out. It's a third-person shooter with a unique mechanic and Remedy's unique storytelling. So this is Rare Replay. This also came with the Gears of War Ultimate Edition. Also, if you do like Killer Instinct, the arcade versions, then this has it. And it also has a fairly expensive game if you were to buy it on the Nintendo 64, the original Conker's Bad Fur Day, which there's an Xbox 360 one that looks really nice called Reloaded. It has a little bit of extra stuff. It's mostly multiplayer. It looks nicer, but they censored a lot of the cursing and stuff like this. Like, this version looks crappier, like, because it's a Nintendo 64 port. But I mean, it's in higher resolution, but obviously it's not as good looking as like the 360 version of Reloaded. But it has a bunch of Rare games on it. Some actually Rare, and some Rare and made by Rare, and just some made by Rare. That was the lamest joke ever. But it has some stuff that was on the Nintendo 64, the original NES, Battletoads arcade game, which I've never seen in real life. And then it has like the NES game as well. Once Microsoft acquired Rare, they didn't really come out with the best games. After that, there's like Grab by the Ghoulies, and then that weird Banjo and Kazooie Nuts and Bolts games, which almost seems more like an educational game because you have to build stuff based on physics. But it has like all the old classics that didn't have like Nintendo characters, and then it even goes back to some of the games. I believe it was on the ZX Spectrum, like Jetpack, which is actually a really fun game. I know that that's a computer that's not popular here, but I know a lot of people like it, and I don't want to say anything bad about it, but like that red, blue, and green color scheme, I don't know why. Maybe I see it differently because I'm colorblind, but it kind of bothers me a little bit. But it's a fun game. That was actually a hitting game in Donkey Kong Country 64, or it was called Donkey Kong 64. That's the thing. It doesn't have those rare classic games like Donkey Kong Country or Donkey Kong 64, but it has like Banjo Kazooie, like all those collectathon games. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of stuff that was on the Nintendo 64, like shooters. I can't think of the name of the game. I know it was, I think it was like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I think Jet was on that title. Whatever shooter that was on the Nintendo 64 where you shot like insects and stuff. You actually finally have like dual analog sticks instead of using those yellow directional pads for the second analog stick, so it works out really well. This is Recore. I play a little bit of it. I actually like it a lot. It's a platformer. It's almost like in this post-apocalyptic world, or it's on a different planet, or what. It's like a sci-fi game. You're like fighting robots. The HDR looks really good. It's like a puzzle platformer shooter, and you have like this little robotic dog sidekick. It kind of reminds me of the dog from Half-Life 2, the robot dog. Was it just called Dog? I need to replay a Half-Life 2. It's like one of my favorite, it's probably my favorite game on PC and one of my favorite first person shooters of all time. And the only thing I can remember is Gordon and Alex. Those are like, I paused because I was trying to think of the security guard's name. But yeah, this is a cool game. I think it's on PC too. I originally played it on the Xbox Game Pass, which when I got my Xbox One X, that was one of the little vouchers it came with, so I could try out a bunch of games. I play most of the third-party games, and Xbox's exclusive library isn't necessarily huge, so I could really try out everything before I bought it. This is just a repackaged version of the 360 game, but if you play on Xbox One X with the Xbox enhanced graphics, and by the way, I said I was going to tell you what was new. Recore was bought new. Let me flip back. And then Need for Speed was new. Those the other ones are used. This one was new. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Like I said, I haven't made a video in a while, and I'm kind of anxious. Like a lot's going on right now. But yeah, this is Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year edition. It really just has like 360 discs in it. It even still comes with a map, and they just repackaged it. I don't like how they stacked them, especially since they're DVDs. I don't mind so much with Blu-rays because Blu-rays don't really scratch. But if you play this on the Xbox One X, it looks like a modern game because it's in native 4K. It looks amazing. This is probably the best 360 enhanced game that I've played. Best looking. I don't know if I said best. It might be the best 360 game that I played on Xbox, to be honest with you. I couldn't find the PlayStation 4 version of this for a while when I was looking for this. I bought this new, and this is just a remastered version of like Red Faction Guerrilla. I really like the first Red Faction, and I beat the first two games, but I just really like the, even though it goes in the third person, I really like the environmental destructibility. Even though this is technically a better looking version based on what I've seen on Digital Foundry, it's probably for the best I couldn't find the PlayStation 4 version, because according to them, and I can't say this from experience, so I don't know whether they're right or wrong, but since I have this already, like, I don't plan on trading it in. This, apparently the PlayStation 4 has performance issues. Even on the Pro, this one actually runs better and obviously looks better. So I don't mind a graphical downgrade for third-party ports, but I don't like it when the performance takes a hit where it actually affects gameplay, and apparently that's what happened. But I didn't have a choice when I was in GameStop to choose between the PlayStation 4, because ultimately I would have picked the PlayStation 4, saw Digital Foundry's video, and just maybe shed like one tear or whatever, like that Native American in that old commercial when somebody litters and he like sees the garbage on the side of the street and he looks up and the camera zooms in, that one little tear comes out. That's probably what would have happened if I would have saw the Digital Foundry video. It looks great, but I mean, it's just in 4K and higher resolution, and I believe there's a performance mode that actually runs at 60 frames per second. I don't like these games, but Sekiro looked cool when I saw it. Well, I don't like Dark Souls types of, I don't know what you would call them, like rogue games. I don't know, where you die or retry over and over again. I'd say this is one of the better ones. I don't really like Dark Souls, so I waited till this was used. A lot of people like this game, so the only used copy that eventually came into GameStop at the time was Sekiro. Otherwise, I probably would have gotten it on PlayStation 4 just because for this type of game, like, I feel like the PlayStation 4 controller is more comfortable with the buttons, I guess, being kind of closer together. I don't know how to explain it, because I can't remember the control scheme. Like, this is obviously probably a better looking version. I think it has a higher resolution. But I didn't come across any problems. If you like this game, I would definitely check it out. It's pretty, but you have to be good at like games like Dark Souls, which I'm not, so I haven't seen much of it, but it's cool. This is Sunset Overdrive. This was the last game to come out on a different console before Insomniac ended up being purchased by Sony. Although recently, when I say recently, months ago, a PC version came out. If you're mad that you can't play Spider-Man because you only have an Xbox One, I would definitely check out Sunset Overdrive. It's an open world game. It has cartoonish weapons. It has a lot of verticality and grinding on rails and stuff like that. You can definitely tell where Insomniac pulled some of their ideas from Spider-Man's mobility and stuff like that in this game. I think Insomniac kind of got burned out because nobody really bought this game, because I feel like the Xbox One crowd is a racing and first-person shooter crowd for the most part. They mostly go for like Gears and multiplayer games and stuff like that, where this is like a platformer. But it's really cool. It has like kind of like a punk rock / skater aesthetic, even though you're not like a skater. Played it on the Xbox One X. I didn't really notice any improvements. There was like a video that played that kind of like was supposed to give you updates periodically, I guess, if you had it hooked up online. But now it's like, oh, I'm sorry, we canceled everything. I don't know if it still does that since the PC version came out, because obviously the PC version, I would imagine, would get like a new feed. But beside this game and Fuse, I don't know of any other Insomniac games before Sony purchased them. Now Insomniac's like a PlayStation exclusive. I hope they remaster the Resistance games. Like Insomniac made Resistance, and before that they made the Spyro games, and that's that. Don't mind the pre-owned sticker, but obviously now you know it was used. But this is an awesome game, especially if you feel like you missed out because you didn't get to play Spider-Man. I would definitely check this out. It's super cheap, easy to find because no one bought it, and I just think it has to do with the kind of people that typically get an Xbox One X aren't in those types of games. I bought this new. I was really excited about it. It's like a stealth game, has procedurally generated levels. You're like in 60s Britain where everybody's like forced to be happy. They have to take this medication. It makes you hallucinate and stuff like that. I was really looking forward to it. But I don't know. So far from what I played, it hasn't won me over. It's kind of boring, and I've had this game for like a year, I would say. I hate to be so negative, but you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just jaded. Who knows? I try to be positive, but I don't know. It's not a bad game. I feel like part of the issue comes from procedurally generated levels for the most part, because when levels are procedurally generated, they just don't have the same level of polish. Like the levels aren't as well thought out because they're not designed by a person. It just goes through an algorithm, but the concept's kind of cool. It's like a stealth game. It's almost like a horror game and stuff like that. It was made by Compulsion, who made this game called Contrast. It was one of the first downloadable titles you could get from when the PlayStation 4 launched. I'm not sure if it ever came out on Xbox One. If it is, I would definitely recommend it. And that game was really cool because, like, you could like you could turn into your shadow, and whatever shadows were like being projected on the wall, they could be used as platforms. And it was like this really cool puzzle game. So I was really stoked about this. Like really having a lot of faith in the developers, and then I played it and I was like, it's not a terrible game, but it was one of those games, I hate to say this or be negative, where I was kind of looking at the time, but maybe the next time I'll play it, it'll procedurally generate an interesting level, who knows. But that is my physical Xbox One collection. Obviously there's a ton of great third-person games if you don't have a PlayStation 4, and if you get the third-party games, or what I meant to say, if you get the third-party games, they're gonna look better and probably run better for the most part. So there's a decent library. I can't lie, I have to be transparent. I do prefer playing on the PlayStation 4 Pro just because I've been playing mostly PlayStation since the first one came out. I think I got it in 1998. It was whenever the year the Resident Evil Director's Cut comes out, so you can Wikipedia that and look up the date, because that's all I wanted for Christmas was the first Resident Evil, just by looking at the back of the fucking box all the time. And it came with a demo Resident Evil 2 that blew my mind. Which, while you might be able to imagine that Resident Evil 2 Remake was probably one of my favorite games of last year. But yeah, it's just the ecosystem, but the Xbox One X is a great system. It doesn't have as many exclusives as, say, the PlayStation 4, or say even like the Nintendo Switch, but has a great third-party selection, as good as the PlayStation 4 because it's third-party, but and the exclusives are really good too. So if you accidentally ordered one, or you're thinking about getting a companion for your PlayStation 4, or you just like the Xbox One exclusives and you have a 4K television, like, you can't go wrong with the Xbox One X. But anyway, I'm rambling all over the place. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. Bye.
If you want to, like, comment, and subscribe! Thanks for watching!